welcome to Breakout Session number 13. I call this one Looking at Guitar from a Different Angle. Today we're going to talk about third and sixth intervals and how to identify them and how to use them. So as usual, when I get started, I want to say hi to all the members of the Guitar League out there around the country that might be watching today. And again, I'd ask, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell so we can notify you when there's a session up there. And also, if you like it, please hit the like button and give any comments that you might give. So today I'm going to try to keep it simple. I've watched a lot of videos regarding double stops, thirds and sixths. And when they get into too much theory, they kind of lose me, and I'm sure we'd all get lost on that one. So I'm going to try to keep this super simple. And what I decided to do is break it down to angles. That's look at the guitar from a different angle. And we're going to use two angles today. I brought my little protractor out to show you. We're going to use a 90-degree angle and a 45-degree angle. But better that you look at it this way, because we're going to be 45 and 90. Those two shapes we're going to use pretty much throughout this process today. So, okay, we're going to start in the key of C. And we're going to also, besides the 45-degree angle, which is like a C shape, C-shape C, we're going to use a 90-degree angle, which is like an A-shaped C in this scenario. So we have A-shape, C-shape, 45, 90. Okay? So we're going to start in the key of C. And in the key of C, if you played the first two notes in the key of C, up here the C and the E, that would be a third. If you played them together, you would be playing thirds. Well, if you take the E and then play the C up on the B string, that's a sixth. Okay? So, also, where you start to lose it is when you try to harmonize a scale. Okay, because if you move up 6 steps in the key of C, you'd get an A, which is also a 6. But we're not going to harmonize the scale today. We're going to do something different. We're going to stick with these angles and shapes. Okay? So, in the key of C, if you remember, there's a C, a D minor, an E minor, an F, a G, an A minor, B diminished, but we'll call it B minor, and then you're back to C again. Okay? Well, it works that way with these 6 that we're going to do today. We're going to start with a C-shaped chord. We're going to lift up this finger. So we now have the D string and the B string in this 45-degree angle here. Okay? And we're going to use the B string as the root note for our purposes. So we're going to think C chord because there's a C right there. Okay, now so we've got a 45. And now the 45-degree angles, by the way, are going to be, there's going to be a fret in between the two fingers. So you see I'm in 2 different frets with this shape. Then the 90-degree angle is going to be 2 notes played in the same fret. So we're still on the D string and the B string. And now that B note obviously is a D. So that's like a D minor. So you got C, you got a 45, a 90. We're going to come up 2 frets, play a 90, which would represent an E minor. Then we're going to come up 1 fret, and we're going to go to the 45, which is going to represent an F major. Then we're going to come up 2 more frets to G major. Then we're we're going to go up one fret and back to the 90. So G, A minor, B minor, back to C. Okay, so it's a 45, 90, 90, 45, 45, 90, 90, 45. And that's basically harmonized in that C scale. And you can play these two notes together, or you could play them separately, pluck them. Okay, so 45, 90, 90, 45, 45, 90, 90, 45. I'm going to put a chart up there so you'll see what we're doing, okay? And we're using the B string as the root note. So that's a C when we do that, okay? So that's a C, D minor, E minor. Here's an F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so now if you started up here on the D note, you could do the same thing and you'd be in the key of D. And this works all the way up till you run out of frets. Okay, so the other thing you can do is, if you're playing over a C chord, this is definitely C. If then they go to the F chord, you could start with the F chord and do the same, the same fingering over the F, and you could do it over the G. So you could play anything with this. Okay, so it works that way on those two strings. Okay? This shape also works the same way if you drop down a string, and now this is an F note, and your second finger is here on the A. Okay, so now you're going to be in an F scale. Okay, or if you started here, you'd be in G. Again, until you run out of room. And if you started here, you'd be in C. Okay? So it works the same way with the same angles on the B and D string and on the E and G string. And you use the bottom finger as the root to know where you are. Okay? Now we're going to add some thirds to it, and we're going to use the same angles. Let's stay in the key of C. So if you think about this C chord, an A-shaped C chord, you're going to take these two notes out of that you got the G string and the B string. And that's now your 90-degree angle for your major chord. It's the opposite, okay? Here was a 45 for a major chord. Now it's going to be a 90 for a major chord and a 45 for a minor. So you only have, you're on those two strings, and in this case, the C is on the top. So now you're playing in thirds, right? Because you got a C and an E. opposite than it was before. So now the 90 is a major and the 45 is a minor. So you got C, D, E, F, G, A minor, B diminished, B minor, C. So then you can combine these things. That's all C stuff, right? That's all C chords. Okay. So when you can mix and match these things, like in the intro when I came in, we were doing thirds. That thing. That's thirds. Then we went to sixths. Let's see. That happens to be in the key of A, but it's the same thing. So what do you do with these things? You saw one way. You can mix them up, thirds and sixths. You can put them in the middle of a lead, or you could play them over the chords to, like last time we had a breakout session on playing nice with others, and we talked about playing different things. So if somebody is playing a C chord, you could just be walking through that to the beat, and then they go to the F chord and a G chord, back to the C chord, that kind of stuff, just using it to play rhythm, you know. Like in, let's see. So 13 breakout sessions ago, I talked about the importance of learning the fretboard, learning all the notes on the fretboard. And this is one of the reasons why, because you need to know where these different root notes are for these things that you're learning. So if you haven't, and if you don't know how to do that, go back and look at breakout session number 1. And actually all the breakout sessions there's a method to my madness. They're trying to bring you along to get you to hear. So, and Guitar League was nice enough. They put all the links on their National Guitar League site. So that was very nice. So you can find them there, or you can find them on YouTube. So again, I'd ask you to please subscribe and you know, make some comments and maybe hit the like button. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.